Hello everyone, welcome to another live hosted by me, Mr. Philly. Today we got a good one for you today, guys. We are making French dip sandwiches. So before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about French roast beef sandwiches in general. Now we're just doing kind of a basic version. We're just using deli lunch meat, and normally you would use that for like the classic deli type of sandwich. And there's variations of it. There's the hot and hearty, which is an open face with served with mashed potatoes and gravy and au jus sauce. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then there's the deli kind, which is lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise and mustard. But we're making the French dip one with typically that usually consists of whatever hoagie bread and like typically for a sandwich and provolone cheese. We have provolone, but I also added some pepper jack just for extra flavor, and then also au jus sauce, au jus and caramelized onions, yes, and then whatever, and then sauces that you can use for this are garlic aioli. We're gonna use that, but I decided to go with a horsey sauce. So, yeah, I think and horsey sauce. I've never really liked horsey sauce when I grew up because it was just so hot, but I kind of grew to love it a little bit. But then there's also the cheddar kind, like the Arby's style kind. I forget, with on an onion roll, roast beef on an onion roll with classic cheddar. That's so good, so good. That was my favorite when I was a kid. But anyway, today we're just making the typical classic, roast beef dip sandwiches, yes. And you can also use chuck roast too. And I've seen a lot of recipes use chuck roast if you want to go all your way. And then you just cook it with a bunch of onions until it gets really tender and then shred it up, actually. But yeah, we're just using deli lunch meat. So yeah, we're not being fancy today. And one of these days, I'm going to make my own au jus sauce. But, we just bought the store-bought, just throw it in a pot of boiling water. So anyway, we are going to make some homemade horsey sauce. So anyway, all right, so let's get started. So, all right, here we go. So for this looks like a really good recipe. So I just had to try it. Very simple. It didn't look like it was... I think it focused more on the sweetness. I think the sour cream really is going to make it taste good. So we need a cup of sour cream, and I don't have all my cooking utensils where I live, so I'm just kind of winging this a little bit. Being cooked for a while, you kind of wing how much. You can kind of tell how much is a cup with a spoon. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? All right, so there we got a cup, and we can play with this recipe a little bit. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? All right, there we go. So a cup of sour cream. We're gonna start with that. And then 3 tablespoons of, what do you call it? Horseradish. 2, 3. There we go. And then we need a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Okay, that's probably a little bit more than a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of lemon juice. Oh, that's probably a little more than that, but anyway. All right, then some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. And if you want to make the deal sweet, you can also add some green onions just to top it off with, or some parsley. There we go. All right, let's just give that a mix and see how that goes. All right, there we go. There's our homemade horsey sauce that we're making. Or this is like something for prime rib or whatever too. I think this is more of a prime rib kind of a spread. So it looks good. It looks good. Oh, I think it's going to be really good. We'll see. And here in a moment, I'm going to spread this on top of our hoagie bread. And then we're going to throw that in our oven just to get the cheese melted on top. Oop, there we go. All right. There's our horsey sauce. I'm about to give it a taste. Here, let's give it a good mixy mix. Oh, yeah, it smells like it. But I don't think it's this hot. I don't like that heat. Too much heat. That's the thing about horsey sauce. I don't like too much of it. I like a little bit of it. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, I taste that horsey sauce. But I can also taste the creamy and the sweetness. It has to be a good balance between creaminess and sweetness. Or, maybe a little bit more lemon juice. There we go. Oh yeah. Balance out that creaminess and the heat from the horseradish. The horseradish has so much heat to it. Pepper, salt and pepper. There we go. How's it going, everybody? Everybody having a good day today? Yeah, I'm having a fantastic day, and it's going to be even better. You know, once you see my roast beef dip sandwiches, you know, they're going to be really amazing. All right, guys, so let's put, all right, we got our hoagie bread here. I'm from Philadelphia, so we say hoagies, you know, sandwich bread. You can use whatever sandwich bread you have, but typically hoagies are where to go for French dip, you know, or sub rolls, you know. All right, so we're going to give that a little spread on top of there. Spread that stuff on top. There we go. I use too much because this is also going to have au jus sauce. We don't want to drown out the flavor of au jus sauce. All right, there we go. And caramelized onions are also going to go on top here. So now let's put our cheese on there. All right, so we have provolone is where to go, the way to go for this, and then you also can use mozzarella. But I don't. Provolone is always kind of bland. So I also added some pepper jack in this too, just because. Give it a little bit more flavor, because provolone is kind of a bland flavor, but it does go really well with roast beef, though, I will agree. Now we're just going to throw that in the oven just to get the cheese melted or whatever, you know. So anyway. All right, guys, there we go. Let's put that aside really quick. Oh, and you know, the other variation to what you can do with roast beef sandwiches, you know, you can make it like a Philly too, you know, cheese, onions, and peppers or whatever else. So yeah, because I mean, it does remind me somewhat of a Philly cheesesteak, you know, because you know you use provolone, and the same goes with the more traditional cheese that you use with Phillies or provolone too. Yeah, but oh, you know, roast beef and that au jus sauce, you know, just have that distinct flavor. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, where's everybody at? Oh, here we go. What are you talking about? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of rambling on, but you know, I need to get this information out about the recipe. So, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Put rags. Just get a little more salt and pepper on there. Get a little seasoning. Oh yeah, very good. Well, before I head over to the stove, I'm gonna just see who's on and everything. Sorry, answer some questions or whatever. If you guys have any, come on in, join, hang out. You know, we're making some delicious roast beef French dip sandwiches today with au jus sauce. Au jus. That's it. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So anyway. And like I said, we didn't, you know, make our homemade au jus sauce, but one of these days we will. So, apologize. But we did make some homemade prime rib horsey sauce, you know, which I think is going to be really good. Very good. What's new, everybody? How's everybody's day going? You know, you guys like what you see? Then don't forget to like and follow, or at least check it out. You know, I'm not begging anybody to follow, but if you like what you see, you know, if you like food, if you like food reviews, or you like cooking, an amateur cook trying to be a chef someday, then I think you would like my channel. And if you like fishing content, and you know, talking about, you know, lighthearted subjects, you know, favorite food, favorite drinks, favorite movies, things like that, then you would like my channel. All right, thank you guys. All right, here in a moment, we're gonna go over there to where our onions are caramelizing. We got our onion, we got a bunch of onions. They're about to caramelize, and I found a really interesting method, a very efficient method to you know, caramelizing onions. I'm about to share that with you guys here in a moment when I move you guys over to the stove. And then we also got our au jus sauce over there. You know, just a store-bought. You know, just boil some water and just throw the package in there. So yeah, nothing fancy. But I'm going to show you something that you can do with your roast beef too, actually, to get some more flavor on it. I'll be right with you guys. All right, guys. Oh, shit. All right, guys, just seeing if that's a good angle. Well, let me bring you guys a little bit closer. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right, so we got our onions caramelizing. So, the key that I found out, I just tried this different method. I kind of just thought this in my head. I don't know if it's a real method or not, but like, when you're caramelizing onions, that takes a long time. What you're trying to do is get a browning on them. You don't want them crispy. It's just a browning, just a caramel color, basically. That's what you're looking for. So, what I discovered that if you just add a bunch of butter and put it at a low setting, it will actually cook very efficiently and very perfectly. So, yeah, I think this is going along really well. I turned up the heat, so it got a little crispy, which I wasn't meaning to do, but I think they're cooking very, very efficiently. So, anyway, just a bunch of butter and a low heat setting. So, yeah, we're just trying to get a caramelization. So, I think about 30 more minutes, I think we'll get a good caramelization on these guys. All right, so here in a moment, I'm going to throw these bad boy sub rolls in the oven. Just to get the cheese melted. There we go. There we go. What's a daisy? All right, so here's another method that I found. We got our au jus sauce right here boiling. Oh, we got to turn the heat up a little bit, Oh, why is it so low? Oh, I turned it off. Whoops. There we go. All right, so like I said, I'm just being lazy today. We have our packaged, prepackaged, au jus sauce, and then prepackaged roast beef. Typically you would use chuck roast for the. Oh, I mean, if you want to be fancy, you could use truck roast, or you can just buy a half a pound of roast beef and boil it or cook it however you want yourself. But one thing that you couldn't do for your roast beef is what we're going to do is we're going to throw some of the slices of the roast beef inside the au jus sauce, just to get some really good flavor on that. So that's what we're going to do. So I think that's going to be really good. So it can absorb some of that flavor. So it tastes more restaurant style. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw some of that. We're going to throw some of that, throw some of our pre-sliced roast beef. I've seen some other recipes do this too. It looks pretty cool. Just to get some flavor on our roast beef. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the kind of roast beef. Now it tastes more, restaurant style. So good. There we go. Very good. Now we're just going to get a little more heat on our au jus sauce. And we're soaking our already pre-sliced roast beef into the au jus sauce. So good. Our onions are going to caramelize here pretty soon, about 10, 20 minutes. It takes a while, this method that I was saying. It does take a while, but we got plenty of time, so it doesn't matter. We're not doing, we don't have too much going on. Whatever we can do, we can be done later, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, that's what's going on. All right, guys, how's everybody doing? All right, so it's going to be a minute for, to get our, some chemistry from our au jus sauce for those two foods to make some love. Gonna wait for the roast beef and the au jus sauce to make some love together. Get some good flavor on that. This will be about 10 or 20 minutes before these onions are caramelized fully, but we're pretty close. And caramelized onions are really tricky. You gotta find that right temperature. Just to get that caramel browning on them. You know what I mean? You don't want them to crisp. It's okay if some of them crisp, but yeah, you really just want that. But like I said, this method I think worked really, really well this time. So anyway, how's everybody doing today? Everybody doing well? All right, come on in, hang out, join. Anybody got questions, concerns, comments? I'd love to hear about it. Whoops. But also, you should be mixing a little bit more too, because if you stick too much, they could still get crispy. I guess you got to constantly mix. I didn't mix that much, so that's why some of them still got a little crispy. But anyway, turn that a little, just a little bit more, yeah, because we're gonna start mixing a little bit more. So yeah. Whoop. Smells good. Oh yeah. Just get some more. Get those roast beef. That roast beef slice is more tender and more juicy. Oh yeah, they're gonna be so juicy. I promise you guys. All right, guys, give me a moment. I'll be right with you. Oh, we don't got many comments today. Oh, that's okay. Oh, I suck. Nobody's on. That's okay. No one's perfect, you know? It's early in the day. Oh well. It is what it is. Oh, we're pretty close. We're pretty close. I really, really like this method. I think it works really, really well. You know, just a ton of butter when you're trying to caramelize onions in an efficient way. You know, a ton of butter and a low setting. And just but mix more often than you should. You know, I didn't mix that much, so some of them got a little crispy, but it's all good. It's all good. It's cool. It's cool. How's everybody's day going? Everybody having a good day? You know, everybody got any plans today? Like I said, I was gonna go fishing, but that's probably gonna be a little bit later. It might even be tomorrow, but we are gonna definitely do that. So, yeah, I gotta go buy some tackle because I really like having a bobber for my fishing pole. So I don't have one, so I gotta go get one of those. But yeah, we'll definitely be either fishing today or tomorrow, though. But definitely, I'm gonna try to make a long video with it, and you know, hopefully we'll be in an area where you know it doesn't lag or glitch. So yeah, I found a good spot, you know, where there's a little bit of a town. You know, when there's a town, you know, there's a little lake or a little pond that I can go to. Because I've noticed when I go out to lakes out in the country, you know, that's when it lags. Because you know you're not close to a cell tower. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is, you know. And yeah, so I found a place in town that has a little pond. You can do some fishing there. Yeah, so there's probably cell towers close by, so yeah, probably won't lag as much. You know, when I do my fishing content, a lot of times that's what happens. All right, we're close. All right, let's turn that down. Whoop, turn it down a little bit more. There we go. Come on in, guys. Hang out, chill. We're making French dip roast beef sandwiches today, so yeah. Oh wow, that looks so good. Oh yeah, our roast beef is starting to look very tender. We're about to take that out here in a moment. All right. Just need to get a little bit of flavor and a juicy tenderness on our roast beef slices, you know. So I threw in the au jus sauce, you know. Oh shoot! All right, it's time to take our. Oh yeah, then we got our sandwich bread out, you know, just to get the cheese melted. So there we go. I almost forgot about that. All right, there we go. And like I said, today we use a combination of provolone and pepper jack. Provolone and pepper jack, you know, because provolone is kind of bland. I always liked, pepper jack a little bit, or mozzarella has a little bit more flavor. But provolone does go really well with roast beef, but gotta have a little bit of pepper jack in there, you know, just to get some flavor going. So anyway. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything they want to share? I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear you guys' positive, respectful critiques or influences. I'd love to hear about it. Cheers, everybody, though. All right, guys, about to take that out. Take our roast beef out of that. Oh yeah, that smells so good. So tender. Oh yeah, juicy and tender. Roast beef. We just soaked that into our au jus sauce just to get some tender and juiciness on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. So beautiful. I hope that's enough. Maybe we should put the whole thing in. I don't know. Oh yeah, that was so tender and juicy. Well, I'm gonna throw some more in because I don't know if that's gonna be enough. How's it going, everyone? Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, or respectful criticism? I'd love to hear about it. Probably should put that on there. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Probably something I should improve on. French dip roast beef sandwiches. Perfect. Oh, now I know what I'm cooking. No, it's in the way, but it is what it is. Well, I'm not seeing any comments. I hope there's no glitches in the app and everything. I hope everybody can hear me. You know, testing 1, 2, 3. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. There was a lot of audio sound, but you know, I'm using my tripod today that I finally got, so this is the baby is gonna really save my life. This thing is gonna be a really real great addition to my cooking. So yeah, the tripod, as you can see, the picture is so much more clear. So yeah, usually when I use a tripod, I don't have any problems or glitches in, you know, the camera or, you know, the quality of the picture. So anyway. Feel free to come on in, say hi, say what's up, you know, chit chat, chill. Come on in and chill. Oh, see what it tastes. Oh yeah, that roast beef tastes so much better since I drenched it in some of that, marinated in some of that au jus sauce. So good. So good. Hope we don't have any problems with comments. You know, we had some comments earlier, so, but we'll see. There's always usually some kind of glitch or issue, but, you know, I apologize, guys. So, yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. All right, we're about to take the rest of our roast beef out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's been marinating in our au jus sauce. Oh yeah, very good, very good. So good. Oh yeah. So if you're using like just deli, if you're being lazy and using deli sliced roast beef, you know, if you want to kick up the notch of the flavor a little bit, you know, just soak it in some of your au jus sauce, you know. Oh yeah, create some great tender flavor. Oh yeah. All right, onions. Give me a couple more minutes, guys. Just to get a little bit of the best caramelization on there. So yeah, it did shrink actually. So yeah, cook down a little bit. Yeah, onions always do shrink. I'll tell you. All right, I think that's caramelization. What is it? Very good. All right, guys. Well, about to be done. And we're about to throw our onions on top of our We're about to dress our roast beef sandwiches with our caramelized onions here. Okay, got a good caramelization on there. There we go. Not the best, but you know, a lot better method than I used before. So anyway. All right, there we go. Got our sandwiches right there. We already went ahead and threw our roast beef on top. Now we're gonna just start throwing our onions right on top. Oh yeah. We want them soft and chewy. So that's the key to the type of, you know, texture that you want with, you know, caramelized onions. Soft and chewy. That's what we're looking for this recipe. There we go. All right. All right, guys. Well, here, give me a moment. We'll move you back over to the table, and we're gonna do my favorite part of the show. We're gonna do a taste test. All right, guys, and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts and my ratings on this delicious masterpiece that I've tried. French dip sandwiches. Oh, why is it doing that? The heck. Oh, there we go. All right, guys, we got our roast beef, French dip roast beef sandwiches here, right here. There we go. Oh yeah, don't they look amazing? Oh yeah, doesn't that look amazing? And we got our au jus sauce right here. Oh yeah, yeah. So all right, we're about to take a bite, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and my ratings. Here we go. Whoop. All right, guys, taste test. French dip roast beef sandwiches. There we go. So good. Oh yeah, so good. That is beautiful. That is majestic. Oh, the roast beef. The roast beef is so juicy and tender, and the cheese, oh my gosh. And then, you know, the horsey sauce is another dimension of flavor. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Wow. Beautiful sandwich. Oh, wow. And you got the onions on there. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is, you know, the cheesesteak, Philadelphia cheesesteak of roast beef. How do I say this? The French dip roast beef sandwich is the cheesesteak of roast beef, basically. Oh my gosh, so good. There's just something about the cheese and the horsey sauce and the au jus and the caramelized onions that go well together. So good. Wow. Oh gosh. And that gravy. Oh my god. Wow. Well, guys, that was amazing. Absolutely delicious. Just so much flavor. So flavorful. You know, the French dip roast beef sandwich is basically the cheesesteak of roast beef, I consider. That's what I would say. Oh my gosh. It is a beautiful, beautiful sandwich. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to like and follow. This was absolutely fun. This was so much fun. You know, I had so much fun making this, and this was a great recipe. You know, I mean, we did take a few shortcuts, but, you know, the homemade horsey sauce, you know, was really good. Made up for it. You know, one of these days when we make this again, we'll definitely make our homemade au jus sauce. So, all right, guys. Well, don't forget to like and follow. And as always, happy cooking, everyone. Bye. 5 stars all day.